Good afternoon, our teachers. Good morning to all of you. Okay, my name is Sonali Devmane and I'm teaching physics subject here. Okay, and today's our topic of discussion or topic of my presentation will be Foundation Basic Bridge course. Okay, as you all know, in a pandemic, Corona. Okay, that will be a huge disaster for the student as well as for the teachers. But it is okay to survive the teachers, but it is very difficult to survive the student at that time, because there will not be any school. Okay, there is a school but it was online. Okay, so if the students can learn online perfectly, then there should not be need for that to what we can say eye to eye contact for in between teachers and students, right? But as we all know, students faced very difficulties during the coronas. Okay, because they have directly shifted to the next standard, right? They have not at all prepared for their respective standard. For example, 9th, 10th, okay, 8, 9, 10. That is according to us also. We know that 8, 9, 10 class is for what we can say basic foundation. It is one type of bridge. Okay. For example, in between there is a huge river. Okay, which is flowing in a very fast manner. Still, to connect the two corners of that particular river, what we need to construct a bridge. What bridge do? Bridge connects the two difficult corners. Okay, student can go easily from one corner to another without facing any difficulties. Right? They are our what we can say future. They are our future. So future should be bright, right? So because of that, we need to focus on the foundation as a basic bridge course, right? So first topic is nothing but the educational foundation. What should be the educational foundation that each and every teacher should, what we can say, provide to the students? Okay, as we all know, what is meant by foundation perspective? Why there is a need for the foundation perspective? A lens of viewing the education as a different concept for the student. Okay, right now all the students who have left their 9th and 10th standard in their corona, they don't know why we need to study. They even don't know why we need to study, why we need to go to study for the next standard. Why there is a need? Without study also we can promote to the next standard. Without study we can become something, someone. Students don't know how to improve their standard, right? Why? Because of the pandemic. Okay, so we need to enhance or we need to improve that the knowledge that student did not get in their 2 years. 2 years, it is a very huge gap. If any student fails in their previous standard, okay, so what we are thinking, what parents are thinking, what an educational institute is thinking, for those students, one complete year will get wasted, right? Why? Because the student have not studied. No, that will not be the only student mistake. That will be the mistake for the society, for a teacher, for the institute, for the social life, with the people who are surrounded by the student like us, right? So we need to construct that bridge. Okay, we need to provide that bridge for the student. Okay, those are 2 years. Now we need, in only 1 year, we need to study the student for 3-year course. It is very difficult, right? It is very difficult. Okay, student को one particular year study के लिए they need to, what we can say, spend 9 to 10 hours daily in the schools, 3 to 4 hours in the institute. Okay, so their first, what we can say, their first the reason for not to study is we will get tired. We are attending the lectures online, we are attending the lectures offline in the institute. So we are not capable, it is not energetic for the students for spending so much time. So what will be the educational foundation that we need to provide? We are going to create a lens for them. Okay, that lens to study the, what we can say, what they will have to become. Okay, that is nothing but the educational foundation. Foundation is not only the educational foundation, it will be a socialized foundation also, right? For example, the foundation perspective is the indisciplinary and allows us to understand the connection between teachers, students, institutes, what we can say, parents. Okay, it is the interconnections, no? Not only the teacher's responsibility to teach the student, not only the institute responsibility to bring the teacher in the institute, not only the parents' responsibility to send their child to the institute, right? There should be the interconnection. Why need parents and teacher meeting? Okay, because what that child is going to do in their standard, that we will have to communicate to the parents, right? Some work, we call this as a homework. Okay, what student do for the homework? They are copying. Only one student will do the homework honestly, and all the students will make copy and paste for it. Okay, only one student can pass with the 90% of marks, but all other students are getting 50, 60, 70. Okay, last 3 to 4 years, we are what we can say, giving the student as what we can say, they are lagging behind. Why they are lagging? It is what we can say, it is the teacher's failure, we can say. I personally feel the teachers' failures will be like that. The students are not getting the marks in their, what we can say, respective classrooms. Okay, the online yes. Okay.
Including social history, political science.
Yes, yes.
Why only those subjects, or what is that?
No, the lens for the weaving the lens. We need to provide the lens for the student, right? So we need to provide the sociological lens, historical lens, political science lens, and philosophy and economics lens. For example, I will give just a simple example for the student. If any student, if any child, what we can say, has a very huge, what we can say, want or a need. For example, that student want a remote car, which is cost near about 2 to 3,000. Okay, so at that time, what that parent should teach to the student, what will be the cost? It is huge cost, right? So you need to do the hard work for it. Okay, so if that student will came in the school, similar concept, similar that the near child or near student having what we can say, any branded bag. Okay, or one of the student will be having any simple bag. So students are comparing themselves, right? So it is a teacher's responsibility, I can feel, that we have to provide that social aspect, social lens to the student, that you should not compare what they have right now and what they need in future. They will have to compare. Right now I'm having a very, what we can say, not branded bag, but I will have to study that much hard, so I can buy the branded bag for myself. Why there is a need to ask the parents every time that I need that branded bag, I need that remote controlled car, I need that electrical driven car, right? So they should not compare. So it is their responsibility to study hard, to become of something, to become the person that their parents should, what we can say, feel proud. So teachers' responsibility is to provide not only the economical or educational perspective, but social, right? After that, psychological thing. They are comparing, no? So this is a psychological thing. No one can control, but we can teach to them so that they should not compare. Yes, they can compare that I am having a very simple bag right now, but I can purchase a branded bag for myself if I will study hard, right? So they will have to study hard at their respective standards only. So this is a lens, sociological lens, philosophical lens, right? So this is a particular lens. After that, the next topic will be the foundations perspective. What should be the foundation that we should build for the students? Okay, teachers' responsibility. A foundation perspective also allows us to view the relationship between educational practices and the processes that are carried from the history. Okay, history, Ohm's law. Okay, in the physics or in mathematics, Aryabhatta gave this concept. Okay, that is history, right? But we are using the history to improve in the future, right? We are using that laws to improve in the future, to build something so that we can reduce our efforts. That is called as a foundation perspective. Okay, foundation is already built up, right? We need just to step on it, na? Mathematical, Aryabhatta, Ohm, Siemens, all the scientists were there. They will not be there for them right now. They have already, what we can say, introduced or built a foundation perspective bridge already. Students just have to get and step on it, right? So they can carry forward their knowledge in the to go in next standard easily. Okay, if their concepts are clear in the what we can say previous standards. Okay, scientists already what we can say 90% study whether it will be any subject. I think okay, history is being created. Historical history teachers is going to tell the previous history to the students. Mathematics has already been there. Ready-made formulas are there, right? Aryabhatta was scientist who already gave the foundations formula. Students just have to need to go into the bridge also, na? They think that bridge is very high. They think that bridge is very, what we can say, suppose we are walking on a bridge and that bridge is what we can say imbalance in that particular condition. Okay, should I reduce? Sir, I'm having throat infection, na? So I will, if I will remove the mic, na, so I can't talk. Will it be okay now? Will it be okay now? Is it?
Yes.
Thank you. Then ultimately this, what we can say, intermediate bridge, okay, that already has been constructed. So just our, what we can say, responsibility to tell the student, you just need to step on that bridge. Then you can, what we can say, cover that much distance in a very less time. Okay, bridge is already constructed. That is called as a foundation perspective that we need to deliver the student. Right? That bridge is already constructed. Just you need to step on that particular. We don't need to create the bridge. We don't need to construct the bridge. Bridge is already there. We need to student.
You're talking about bridging the gap between forward and this side.
Foundation, yes, yes. Why a foundation is necessary to the student?
So this is already been created, and that I didn't understand.
Okay. Bridge is already there constructed for respective subjects. For example, mathematics. For example, physics. Student think if calculation were there, it is very difficult to solve it. But why they need? Because they need to think that we will have to derive something. And for first we will have to derive something like formula. Then they will have to put the values and then they will need to get the answer. That thing is not like that. Okay. Well, for example, what we can say, derivative, integration, these concepts are already there. These concepts are there, rules are already there. Trigonometry, all the basic rules are there. We need to deliver the student that already basic formulas are constructed. You just need to learn this formula. So if you learn, you are learning that formulas, you are already on the bridge.
That's not,
yes.
That's what happens in normal class.
For a foundation purpose.
Now we are talking about like, for example, a student who was in class 1.
Yes.
In 2019.
Yes.
He is in class 3 now.
Yes.
So that 2 years have already gone.
Got.
So like from class 1 when he reaches class 3.
So
these 2 years
how to fill that gap?
Yeah, that is the discussion, right?
Yes, yes.
All the derivatives.
No. So for that discussion, there are total 3 perspectives: economical, social, foundation. So I am talking about for that particular limited foundation perspective that already the gap is constructed for foundation. Just we need to, what we can say, student to put the step at least for the particular bridge. So we are already present on that particular bridge for foundation purpose. But economical, social, okay, psychological, that gap we will have to construct for the student. Only one bridge is already there. For example, foundation. What about psychological? What about social? That bridges are not there, na? So we need to create that particular bridge for the student.
Previously you said bridge is already there.
Yes, yes. Social and psychological gap we need to construct. Foundation gap is already there, constructed, right? We are deriving the formulas for mathematics and physics, no? So student, they think that we will have to discover something. Students don't have to discover something at the age of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. They need to learn. And we are the, what we can say, educators, that we are providing knowledge to them. Now, so just we need to deliver. Okay, that particular gap we will have to fill. Okay, there are total 4 aspects, right? One is social, another one is psychological, right? Third one is foundation, and then economical. Okay, only foundation gap is already there. Other 3 gaps we need to, what we can say, we need to construct those bridges for the student to fulfill the gap in between 2 years pandemic. That I want to say. Okay, next. The history of education. We know, okay, we are in each and every year, we are continuously, what we can say, improving ourselves. We are continuously improving ourselves, improving our knowledge, improving technologies. Right? In Corona also, students were not like that. They are sitting at a home or come, what we can say, blankly. No, technology provides, what we can say, the teacher's knowledge, teacher's perspective at home for the student. Just because of the all the technological and what we can say, a laptop, iPad, and yeah, okay, because we already have the, what we can say, classified, impressive history already there. But students should know that history. Okay, students should know that history as one type of story. Okay, if you tell the student story, what we can say, history. For example, there is a one particular king and queen. They have created their mentions, and like students create more, what again, interest to learn that story. Okay, so we can tell the story in terms. We can tell the history, our history, in terms of story for the student. Okay, we already have our present system of the education as a result of 300 years of the historical process that have shaped and molded it continuously. Okay, it has been past 300 years continuously history body molded itself. Okay, in a, what we can say, as the, what we can, today's technology. Okay, what will be the today's technology? We will have to deliver our knowledge through, as soon as eye to eye contact for the student. Those students who can come in the institute, we will going to provide the lectures online for them also, right? Why? Because they should not be lagging behind. Okay, yes, we are providing the data just because that student should not again lagging behind, right? So it should be the history. Okay, we should tell the history to the student in terms of story, so they can create their more, what we can say, interest in that, right? The whole process has not been without deep controversies. We need to first understand the interest of the student, whether he wants to learn, whether he wants to teach at that particular time. Continuously changes, we know that. Okay, we are having 70 students for in our classroom. Only how many students, what you can say, how many students are, what we can say, total concentrating on particular class, 100% they are delivering the lectures. How many students in terms of percentage?
30%.
Only 30%, or we can say less than that. Okay, why? Because the all other subjects, theoretical subjects, we are only teaching them. Okay, we need to try some interest. Okay, we need to tell them some history. For example, in mathematics, Aryabhatta, how that Aryabhatta, why that Aryabhatta wants to derive that formula, what the difficulty Aryabhatta faced at that time. Okay, automatically Newton was sitting on that particular apple tree, and automatically apple, तो क्या करता था वो, apple खा लेता था, चले जाता था. Not like that. Why Newton thinks that he need to deliver something, he need to found out something, he need to research something. Why apple came down only, right? So if you we tell students story, no history, apple, by we need to think each and every student should make a Newton. Okay, should become a Newton also. Okay, we
Yeah, I think in the slide it's talking about education. Right?
yes, history is never straightened.
Actually, one slide is about It's not education. It's not about women working.
Yes, history in
System
the
of education, how the system of education.
yes, it has been continuously molded. Yes, it has been continuously molded. So we need to tell the student the history. Educational histories have never agreed on the why and how and what makes the good schools. Right? History should not tell us the how that school should be good. Right? History should tells us what will be the history, and right now in future what we need to improve it, what we need to deliver it, or how to deliver it, and what to deliver it. Okay, what not, that is in history. What we will have to do, what we will have to create, that is in future. Okay. Next, psychology of education. Okay, or philosophy in education. What is meant by philosophy? The simple word. Philosophy means thinking. Students thinking. Simply. Okay. Students thinking is another manner and teachers thinking is another manner. So psychology is nothing but the creating gap in between students thinking and teachers thinking. Okay. So psychology or philosophy is important. Okay. In teaching because it asks us to reflect on what and how our teaching should be, right? Philosophy is nothing but how we are reflecting ourselves in terms of in front of students, right? How we became a teacher, why we are becoming teacher, is it our interest or not? So philosophy is nothing but our reflection in front of students, right? Simple. It is just a reflection phenomenon, right? Then this includes both the ideas and principles. Okay, ideas for the student and principle that has already formed in the history. Okay, that guide us and our actual classroom practices. Okay, in our actual classroom, how we are delivering our lectures. Okay, that will be depending on that individual teacher's philosophy, right? Then that this is called as philosophical aspect in the education, right? Next, educational economics. Okay, this is a very important keyword. Okay, for the foundation. Educational economics is nothing but economic study the connections between economic policies and educational policies in the practices. Okay, so simple example, what level of education is needed to live a good life? Simple. Okay, the student for first standard, second, fifth, 10th. Okay, what level of level of life that student wants for themselves? So what level of education that student should improve? Okay, what education of level student should improve to live a good life? That is the connection in between educational economics, right? Economical means what he wants to become in the future, right? If he wants to become in the future for the particular, for example, pilot, right? So economical aspects is nothing but that student should know from the first or second, we can say fifth level, that in particular what path he need to go, in which path he need to walk, right? If he walks slowly on that particular, he can easily reaches his goals, right? So what is the educational economics? How to live his life, what he needs in himself or herself in the future, right? Next, economics is less often included in the disciplines of the educational foundations. Why need to be a discipline? What is meant by discipline? Following the times, following the timetable, following the study timetable that student is created for himself or herself, right? These all aspects are connected to each other, right? Economical aspect, psychological aspect, the day he learn in his institute, what knowledge and how to deliver it, and what he wants to become in a future. That is nothing but a simple educational economist. right? What is education? In a simple line, all teachers must tell in their what we can teachers make definitions, right? Simple word. What is meant by education? Very good.
How to live in the society.
Very good. How to live in the society, like economical aspects, psychological aspect, philosophical aspect. Okay. The Lawrence Krimen, the very first time he gave the definition for the education as deliberate, systematic, and sustained effort. Okay, deliberate, systematic, and sustained effort to transmit, evoke, and acquire knowledge. To transmit, evoke, and aspire knowledge, attitude, skills, and their sensibilities. Right? Was the first definition for the education given by Lawrence Krimen. Right? Then after that, it is deliberate and intentional. Okay? Why education should be intentional? Why education should be intentional? Why there is a need to educational should become intentional? Why? Simple word.
We are going without information, so I will not.
Very good. Simple. If there will not be any intentions, no one will going to do that. Okay. Very good. Students or child. Okay. Students or child. Very simple example I want to give that if please study this particular itna homework you should complete your homework in particular this particular time only. Okay, parents will going to tell the student. Some of the student can grasp the knowledge and he or she can do it, but some of the parents will give intention to do the homework like first finish your homework, then I will provide you Cadbury. First finish your homework, then I will provide you ice cream. Whatever he or she likes that, right? So intentions for the study are going to provided by the first parents and then next to the teachers. Okay, intentions will have to be provided for the students. There should be the intention to do anything. If there will not be intention, he or she will not going to do it at all. Never, right? So that is nothing but the education, right? After that, yes.
That means if there is no topic, we won't study. But that is another purpose.
Right, but some of the students will be there, some of the childs will be there.
Yeah, they will study.
Naughtiest child, we can say. Okay, we are going to construct the homework on the basis of those students. 50% class students were like that. If we provide the homework now, they will not going to do that homework for the मतलब वो रखते ही नहीं कि घर जाके complete कर. That particular students were going to do the homework at itself. Okay, very practical example I can give. 5 minutes ago I can out of the classroom. I was out of. Some of the students came. I will give the homework to them. I will not be कुछ भी मैंने intention provide नहीं किया. Okay, my lectures were there because I am here to give the presentation in front of you. The students says to me, we will going to complete the homework itself, right? Few students are there who can do the homework without any intention. Okay, they know. Okay, if we do the homework now, we will going to become a good person in the future. Okay, how to the social life. But some students are there, not a student. So it is not bad to what we can say provide the simple like chocolate and all. We did not give the Cadbury to the student. We can give 1 rupees. What we can say, it is like a prize. Okay, yes, I did something today good, so that I got a prize. Okay, don't give to the intention. Intention will be, I will say that you are a good girl. I will say that you are a good boy. Some parents will be like that also. Na? Intention will not be like in terms of only things, in terms of only what we can say, only logic. We can provide impression. We can provide what we can say positive aspect to the student to study, right? We can encourage them. Not only intentions are going Yes, sir.
Intention means what I understand. Because some of the students who come here,
Yes.
they wanted to go join the course, MBA. That is their intention.
Yes.
So they come here to study. If they have that intention, they will study. What you are talking about, motivating or encouraging people to present that is what intention is, right?
Yes, yes.
So that we feel a value in what they will be studying. Is that so?
No, sir. The level of the intention will be changes according to the ages of the student, according to the classroom of the student, right? You are talking about the students who will going to prepare for the NDA
No,
exams.
I'm talking about the students in this academy.
Okay, in this academics, the students are from the junior KG to 12th plus.
Why they join here? They have an intention.
Yes,
What
to
is that?
join the, yes, from
What is
first
the
standard they will need to, the
Intention is-
intention having to go for the NDA, yes, to crack the
That is
NDA.
what intention is,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So you are talking about giving gift. That is not actually intention, right?
okay.
Is it motivation, encouragement like that?
Encouragement, encourage. We can say that particular as a word as a encouragement. It can take place in a formal and informal settings. What is in the formal settings and informal settings for the educations? Formal settings are nothing but to go in particular schools, to go in particular teaching institute. Informal settings are there. Some of the students can't afford to go to the institute. Some of the students can't go to afford the even schools. Okay. Some of the students can't afford to go in a school in particular where fees will not be there. They can't even reach there. We are having total 54 students like that. Till their 10th standard, they have not studied standard to standard. They are at their home only. They are doing the farming and like that. That is called as informal settings. So we need to provide the education to the student in terms of informal way. Okay. So how parents will provide the informal way setting? They are providing encouragement to the student. A small encouragement. Okay. So this is not our condition. We can't afford to shift to our city. We can't, this is our land, this is our home. So that is called as something informal setting. Formal settings are nothing but a proper educational institutes, proper educational schools. Students are going, following the proper timetable, coming home at a right particular time. They are doing their homework and all. That is called as formal and informal settings. So there is again creating a very huge gap in between formal and informal settings. So again, there is a need to construct the bridge. Right, bridge aspect, which is one type of foundation aspect. Okay, simply directly intentions student को provide नहीं होते. Okay, students सबसे पहले जाता है school. Okay, what is meant by school? What is schooling? Okay, schooling is the sum of activities. Okay, schooling is simply a sum of activities and processes occurring within the institutions of learning. Sorry. It is the sum of the activities. Okay. At the very small age, from 1 to 4 standard, we are providing different activities to the student. Okay. We are providing to the crayons, to the diam, just color. These are the simple activities. For 5 to 10 standard, there are different activity to construct something, to make something, to make a simple machines, to make how to mechanics will be there, how to kinematics will be there. These are simple activities that will going to vary the standard to standard. Okay, the schooling is nothing but a process. Okay, the combined different activities according to different levels of the student. Right, that is called as schooling. Right, another the institutions of the learning. How to learn, what to learn at what age, what to learn at what standard. That is nothing but the simply schooling. Okay, that will be the first process. That will be the first step to construct the bridge in between the foundations, to construct the bridge for the foundation. What is meant by liberal perspective? Okay, there is a huge liberal perspective for the foundations gap in the student. Okay, the origins in FDR and the educational philosopher John Dewey. Okay, we all know that he is a very good educational philosopher, right? Free dimensional resources, sir. free dimensional resources which will going to provide at the very small ages to the student in the schooling itself. Okay, free dimensional resources that will going to provide from the family to the child, from the family to the student. Okay, free market is a good system, but it leaves out many who deserve to be served by our educational systems. Education can and should help to solve the social issues. Okay, underline this, the education is for to solve the social issues. Okay, at the standards after we can say 9th or after 10th, right? Students should know why to educate. Yes, there should be the intention so that student can learn, but education is for solving social issues. Yes, the very first concept, that education is for solving the social issues, after particularly with regard to the inequities. Okay, inequities, we are facing so many inequities in the schooling also, in the educational institutes also. The students should not be like that, they should be provide equities to the student. Okay, governments need to be involved in all the aspect of the education policies and practices. Okay, there are so many private educational institutes. Okay, so if there is a private educational institute, no, government will not going to look it for that, right? So government should look in private educational institute also, how and how they can improving their self, how they can improving their child, how they can improving their student, right? So government also have to be look at the private institutes. They should provide what the private institute can't even afford. Yes or no? They can provide. Yes, they can provide. For example, this is an ND institute, we can say. Okay, so why provide? What are the things which will be going to provide by the government defense particular system? Nothing. Okay, just they, yes, our result will came out. Okay, how many students are going to complete? Yes, they will come. Some of the very higher authorities will come, inspire the students, congratulate them, but that should not be only the government what we can say involvement. No, they should involve in other faculties also. For example, we are having the time 6 in the morning to the 11 in the evening, right? So we are providing what we can say outdoor activities also. Okay, we are not having that specific ground or space for the outdoor activities. Just to 3 to 4 kilometers away, there is a what we can say Indian defense ground. Okay, so many instruments for the training that are available for there. So government should also take the interest in the private institute also, so can our private institute student can also go there. Okay, having some of the what we can say knowledge from there, they will be having the free space which is available, the ground is available for the 24 hours, right? Yes, their personal activities will be there, but how much time? Only for 1 to 2 hours. Right, so I think the government should also take some part in the private institute, so they can provide their little bit if what we can say involvement for the student only for 1 hour a day. That is more than sufficient for the student. Okay, if the students will go in that particular ground and practice, no, there is one type of another motivation which we will going to provide for the students, right? We are practicing on a what we can say the ground on which the officers which we have already practiced there, right? So government should also take the part in the institute. That is called as liberal perspective, right? What is the radical perspective? What should be the radical perspective? Radical, the word itself a very energetic, right? We will have to provide something radical, something different, something innovative, right? So capitalism is not the best form for the social organization. Socialism, for example, school and educational practices exist in their present structure. Okay, already all the educational practices are already exist. They are doing their efforts for the student. They are trying to construct the bridge in between them. But what should be the educational practices and the policies must address these underlying inequities, because a few elites have access to power while learning out many. What does it mean? A different form of government, not capitalism, right, is necessary to solve the social and educational inequalities, and education can help to restructure it, right? Educational inequalities are present already there, right? Some of the students simply, this all means a cutoff in our teacher language. Okay, why cutoffs are there, right? Why cutoffs are there? Yes, there should be the cutoff. All the structure is already formed. We cannot restructure it, but at some level the restructure has to be done, right? The restructure has to be done in a particular classroom. All the students have been going to sit in, but some of the students should know my cutoff is this. Some of the students will know my cutoff is this. Why there is inequalities in the classroom? Okay, why the cutoff for this particular X student was different, and why the cutoff for Y student will be different? There should be some, at least 5 to 10% restructuring has to be done. That is the radical aspect, right? Restructuring also need to do. Okay, we are constructing, we are teaching. Do we take the class to cut off for the 700 out of 350 cutoff for the separate student, or the cutoff for the out of 700 550 cutoff for other student? No, we will going to teach, we will going to deliver the knowledge for the student in the same class, right? So why should be there different inequalities? Why should be there different cutoff? Cutoff for the all students should be same, right? It should be some amount. Okay, the need should be only 5% or 10% restructuring. That is the radical aspect. Why this name as a radical? Because it has to be done, right? It will be coming, it will be happening, yes, but in a very few, 1%, 0.5%. What it needs? 5 to 10% restructuring of the already social structure activities which are following on, right? There should be some restructuring has to be done. And simply, and the very basic foundation is nothing but the traditional schools. Okay, there are two types of school. One is traditional school, another one is progressive schools, right? So what is meant by traditional schools? Traditional schools are necessary. Okay, simply the traditional schools are necessary for the transmission of our traditions to the students, right? What is our traditions? Okay, American values. Included among these are the value of the families, right? Value of our families, values of our person, values of our hard work, and values for our reward that we will want to do for the individual initiative, right? So there are two types of school. One is the traditional school, another one is a progressive school. These are the
What is it? American values?
American values such as to do the hard work as much as possible, right? Their timings, these are working timings, schooling timings, okay? That they are twice as our values will be there. They
They are very smart working.
smart working, and we are hard working.
They are hard
Yes, we are hard working, we all know. Okay, but we need to deliver the student what should be called as a smart work, right? What should be called as a American values. How to do the work without considering the time limitations. Don't do your work with considering time limit. Yes, my time is from 8 to my time is to 4 o'clock. After till 4 o'clock my work is not done yet, I should not leave. Okay, you should not leave, right? So that is called as a traditional approach, a hard work. Okay, a hard work, a family values. Okay, American values is nothing but a simply, very right, sir. That is simply a smart work. We are doing continuously hard work and hard work and hard work, right? So we should deliver the student what are the American values also. What is called as a spark work also. What is called as a work which should be finished in between the boundaries of the time, right? That should be the boundary that student has to set for himself or herself already. And he need to do the work in between that limitation, in between that boundary of the time. If he can finish his work before time, that is called as American values, we can say. Okay, for the student from the class 5th to 10th, right? The values will going to change the student according to standard. And what is meant by the progressive schools? Progressive schools should solve the tracing the social problems. Okay, next, schools are an integral part of our democratic society. Okay, integral part. It will be a what we can say mandatory thing. It will be a mandatory thing. Schools should make the things better for our society, and this will help everyone. Okay, in schools itself. Okay, why student will go into the schools every day? To first step progress. Okay, himself or herself. Okay, progress in how to solve the all other problems in day-to-day life. Okay, students' problems are of different levels, right? So there are the two types of schoolings are there. One is the traditional schools and another one is called as progressive schools. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My voice is little bit cracking because I'm having the throat infection. So I just want to sorry for that only. Other. Thank you.
This was for our side.
Thank you, all of you.
And you provide us a good knowledge.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you can share us with the-
Yes, sir.
Our man is very kind, that's why she is going to share.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, actually, they are saying sometimes they don't want to give.
it is the rule.
Is there any group for the all teachers study program for the WhatsApp?
This definitely I will share with you.
Okay. So tell me your number, please.
935. 70. I will share with you.
Please, physics.
So, we from
Only 9 and upward. 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 plus. And engineering first year.
you are from here, from Pune.
Because I am properly from Aurangabad.
Or
Because of marriage, I have shifted to Pune.
Alam visit Aurangabad.
Yes, ma'am. MTech completed, ma'am, from Nagpur University.
You are master of.
CAD, Computer Aided Manufacturing and Technology. From Nagpur Institute, I am 2018 pass out. 3 years I worked from the Institute of Engineering of Nagpur. So,
I want to visit Aurangabad. This is one of the historical place.
yes,
So I can stay in your house.
I have shared. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you a lot.
Told that the cutoff should be same for every student. Do you think cutoff should be
Same, no, sir. Restructure has to be done till only 5%, I think. At least 5% restructuring should be same. Restructure has to be done. It is not at all possible to do the cutoff for all the students. Possibly नहीं है, sir. Not at all possible.
but only 5% restructuring has to be done. Okay, because of right from last 1 year now, students are facing so many problems just because of cutoff. They are eligible, but only for few marks. Okay, and I saw the student who can't afford to come here. Okay, our what we can say foundation, our what we can say a pillar, answer. Okay, he is a what we can great man. Okay, he allow those type of students who can't even afford to come here, right? Just because of 1 or 2 or 3 marks. Okay, they need to 1 year मतलब recycle हो जाता है सब पूरा, right? And conditions will be like that. They are one student was there and her mother paid suicide. He can attempt suicide. Okay, possibly नहीं है farm में hospital 23 kilometers है and he cut her hands and to bring her from that particular place to the hospital, and that students are he is tremendous knowledge. Okay, he came here, studied for the 2 years, attained the lecture from the 6 in the morning to the 11 in the night, but only 1 or 2 because of the 2 marks, only 2 marks, right? 5% you will have to restructure your cutoff so that you can sort out the student who are eligible, not because of that printed marks. No, there should be the restructure. There should be the what we can say personal interview sessions. Those who can't cut only because of 1 or 2 marks, are they eligible? Can they do their particular work better than the students who have already selected, right? I do only 5 to 10% restructuring. There should be. Okay, cutoff सब के लिए same होना सर is it impossible? Yes, it is impossible. So बहुत सारे लोग बहुत सारे तरीके से मेहनत कर रहे हैं कि cutoff सबके लिए same, लेकिन हमें पता है कि वो नहीं होगा. लेकिन कुछ आप restructure कर सकते हो. ठीक है, आपका cutoff है, लेकिन जो 1 और 2 मार्क्स से स्टूडेंट चले गए, उनके लिए भी कुछ करो ना. ओके, उनको गिरी आप निकाल नहीं सकते. कुछ पर्सनल इंटरव्यूज लो, उनका कुछ पेपर लो, और कुछ 10 मार्क के लिए क्विक टेस्ट लो 10 मार्क के लिए. Are they eligible? They can't find out only because of 10 to 15 minutes. Just spend 15 minutes for yourself. The complete future will be depending on that thing, right? That restructure has to be done. Can I go? I will send you. No, sir, that is all. Yes, sir.
सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज पेरेंट्स के साथ एजुकेटेड है नहीं ऐसा घूमने तो मैं घूमने के नाम से आता हूँ कैसा लग रहा है अब क्लास की क्या दो की क्विंटल बैठने के लिए आपको थोड़ा लगा
मेरे साथ आइए आप
रात भर सुबह सुबह किला मिल जाएगा लोअर किले मिल जाए जैक्सन बोला जैक्सन देखा हमारे यहाँ जाते हुए देखा और जाते हुए हो नहीं ये वो जाम चल रहे हैं ना अपन में को पेशेंट होता है पेटी आती है मोबाइल सिस्टम आता है तो ट्रांसफर करती है पेटी ठीक है इसमें होता है इसमें टेंशन ना ले ऐसे मजबूरी है टेंशन का ऐसी बात नहीं होगा गलत बात में कभी किसी बोल देते मेरी बात का बहुत ही कम बुरा बात है
अलग ही लड़कियां बहुत होती हैं हाँ ये ऑब्जेक्ट की बात कर सकते हैं
और जिनके नाम स्टार्ट होते हैं उससे ही
सच बता रहा है बात तो समझिए पुरानी को असर होता है शॉर्ट टेम्पर्ड होते हैं लोग लड़के में नहीं लड़के में देखते हैं शॉर्ट टेम्पर्ड जाती है ना
सर आप कितनी रेडी
इन लड़कियों को जंगली बंदर को दस
मतलब है किसको बता रही
इसके मतलब भी हम गया सर वो लड़के नहीं है
मैम एक बात को प्रॉब्लम में बोलिए आप मान जाओ
बात तो तुम्हें कहने वाले
प्लीज करा दे अरे मुझे क्या सीखा आपने क्या क्वेश्चन अरे एक से होगा क्या सीखा लैंग्वेज कैसे
इन्विटेशन सर मुझे एक बात बोलना
स्टूडेंट्स को पूछना बार-बार को क्वेश्चन को करना कि क्या होता है क्या है नोटिफिकेशन को रिपीट करना से भी क्वेश्चन करना चाहिए रिपीटेशन कितना फोकस किया 20% कितना फोकस किया बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है
पूरा रटता है
नहीं क्वालिटी वाले खत्म समझ आते हैं
देना क्या कह रहा है बेटा अगर एसी होगा बढ़िया होगा इसी काम में होता है एक साथ में अच्छे से होता है वो होता है करेक्टली कि तुम लोग ग्रुप एग्जाम कर रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं, वो कर रहे हैं, स्पेसिफिक टारगेट करके बोल रहे हैं। अरे मेरे को मालूम ही नहीं, मैं सम सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ कि झगड़े हो गए, वो लोग ने मार दिया एक दूसरे को, उसके बाद में उठा